back in your life, like uh stowed away kid who finds out that his family is rich and all of a sudden decides to murder them all just to make a few bucks. This is wait a minute, what is this? This isn't normal. It is the Real Ignorance Podcast, with real spelled differently. You get it. It's different. It's a movie podcast. We're back with my good friend. I'm Joe Winkel. We thank you for hanging out with us, the normal host of the Educated Ignorance Podcast here on the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network. And I say, if Doug and Chris can do podcasts about all of the different Game of Thrones shows, then, well, I can grab my friends and we're going to talk about movies we enjoy. And I am excited to be here today, joined by my good friend. It is Faceless Blake. Blake, how are you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Well, not see you, but
it's another day, another dollar. You can't complain too well, no dollars actually, but it's another day. It's another day. It's a day. It's a good day to talk movie. I'll tell you that. That's what day it is.
Yeah, let's do that movie, shall we?
We shall.
So this is a brand new podcast here on the For Frequency Sake Podcast Network. It's going to be maybe bi-weekly, sometimes weekly. This is a podcast about movies. That's kind of simply what it is. It's gonna, if you're a fan of our former wrestling podcast that we are all still good friends with, the premise of the show is kind of going to have the same navigation as our show Wrestlebacks used to be. So there's going to be categories. We're going to talk about the movie in certain aspects and different kind of legacy type things that we think are interesting. And then we're going to have some fun and do some categories to, poke some fun and talk some smack about certain weird aspects and, talk about certain characters and make up some fun jokes and all that good stuff. And we're excited to bring that to you. And that's going to be the main premise when we do these kind of movie reviews. We're starting with a newer movie that just came out a week ago. We are reviewing today How to Make a Killing, which just came out last weekend. Blake and I went and saw it last Friday. We're going to discuss that one, but we're also going to end up doing, as you can see, Blake's picture here is a Marvel picture. We're going to do a bunch of superhero stuff. We're going to review older movies. We're going to go see, like we're doing, I don't know if we'll do Project Hail Mary, but we're going to do The Odyssey over the summer. We're going to do Drama, which is a movie that's coming up in a few months. So there's a lot of cool things that we can do. And Blake, who told me a few weeks ago, maybe, listen, this podcast sprung along because of Blake telling me this, but Blake told me he is now an avid Letterboxd account owner. So if this does pop off, Blake, if it means anything, you're the one to thank for it.
That is true. I don't want to take all the credit because, you do supply, the material for me to spiel off about certain rants about certain things. But,
That's how, yeah. That's
yes,
how
I do have a
value
Letterboxd account. It's still at Blake Ringier. If anybody wants to.
He's a modern day Roger Ebert or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're going to talk about the movie.
Test run is what this is.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a way for us to galvanize certain things. Eventually, maybe Blake will get a camera when we hit like 95 episodes, and it's part of the gimmick at this point. So I'm excited, Blake. What say you? Should we just get right into the action here?
Yeah.
So, of course, like we said, we're doing How to Make a Killing. The movie came out literally a week ago. It'll be a combination of these plus some how do I say this? Some newer stuff, some older stuff, depending on how we navigate and whatnot. So How to Make a Killing dropped last week. It did, let's see here. I'm just looking at kind of some box office stuff over time. I don't know, how much do you follow like the opening weekend box office for certain movies? Is it something that you pay attention to a lot?
Most of the time.
Okay. So this isn't something that came out and like did a huge bang up job, but it's a movie by a studio that I'm really starting to fall in love with, in A24. And they're an independent studio that has done a bunch of different projects, more than I even can remember that they did. and we're going to talk about them over the time here. But I kind of wanted to start with this. The movie was starred by Glenn Powell, who plays Beckett Redfellow. And spoilers, by the way, for these shows, we're gonna obviously be. This is gonna be a spoilerific podcast. So I know the movie's only a week old, but just so you are warned that we are going to spoil the shit out of everything from here on out. Glenn Powell stars in this movie as Beckett Redfellow. Margaret Qualley is she stars in this movie as Julia, which is basically the main female character in the show. Jessica Henwick is in this. Topher Grace, Ed Harris. There are some like bigger names in here that play very minute roles, which we'll talk about. But I wanted to start, Blake, with Glenn Powell, and this has kind of been a run for him over the last maybe couple years, where he is really starting to pick up, and he is starting to become kind of a very diverse star. And I want to know, like, what is your take on Glenn Powell? Do you have an opinion on him? Your overall input for him as a whatever list star
You
so
know what's
far?
funny?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know this, but I first remember, again, it's very small, but I had to actually go back and rewatch it for me to realize it was him. But in Dark Knight Rises, when Bane takes over the stock market, he is the guy in the chair. And that's kind of when I first was like, oh shit, that's Glenn Powell. And I saw it and I had to go back and rewatch it, but it's kind of funny because like I adore that movie and I never once was like, oh yeah, that's Glenn Powell. But yeah, that's fucking Glenn Powell.
It's so funny to go back and see like you do like an IMDb scroll of what he's like been in, and The Dark Knight Rises shows up, and you're just like, wait, he was in The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
He was one of his first. Apparently, he was like he played like one of the finger people in Spy Kids 3.
Yeah.
Back in the early 2000s. So he's been around the game for a long time. He's shown up in some TV shows over.
But a lot of his recent films, I have not seen Top Gun, but I've seen like The Hitman, I've seen The Running Man, I've seen Twisters, I've seen How to Make a Killing, obviously, and I just think he's so diverse in the roles that he plays. Like in Hitman, he plays like a teacher who runs into somebody and this girl thinks he's a hitman, so then he has to pretend to be a hitman, and he plays like 7 different personalities.
I really want to see that.
It's on Netflix. It's super good.
I saw it on
just
Netflix.
The diversity of his like acting, I think, is like it's through the roof. Like so many different roles he plays in one movie is just absolutely insane.
So you said diversity, and I'm glad you nailed that. So yeah, he isn't really like we're fight fans. You know how they say in the fight game you have the A side of the promotion?
Yep.
He's never really the A side of a movie until, and honestly, he isn't the A side of this. He is on the B side, but Top Gun Maverick, he's hit, like, obviously Tom Cruise is the whole show, the show, the nothing but the show. But then you have like Miles Teller, and then you have Glenn Powell, right? So those are kind of in that order. And then Hitman, which isn't something that was like, that came out that was huge, but it was, it's on Netflix now and it did okay. I would probably say, Blake, so he's kind of starting to launch in 2022. 2023 here with Hitman, and then, it's a movie that maybe did about the same, but this is where he kind of branches off. Instead of doing these like big mojo hotshot action guy movies, he ends up in a rom-com with Sydney Sweeney in Anyone But You. And then he does Twisters. And then he does the chat in 2025 now is where he really kind of leaped up, or took a big leap. After Twisters in 2024, he does the Chad Powers Show, which won an Emmy, I believe.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. And then, or if it was, I don't know if they won it or got nominated, but it was in the Emmys. And then, of course, The Running Man, which came out last year, and now How to Make a Killing. So the fact that he can do all of these different things, he can do quirky TV show with Chad Powers. He can do rom-com with Sydney Sweeney and Anyone But You. He can do the main attraction male role in the movie that everyone wants, which is basically what Twisters is. It's
Yep.
literally Glenn Powell versus Mother Nature. Um, and then of course being in kind of these it being in like kind of an action movie in The Running Man, and then this movie, which is How to Make a Killing, it's kind of like a comedy slasher type
Yeah.
ordeal.
Yep. I'm pretty
And
much.
he is the but there are some bigger names, as we said, in the list of categories, like Ed Harris, Topher Grace is he's well known. There's a couple others. But for the main characters that get the chunk of screen time, I mean, Blake, it is Glenn Powell, ISO ball, like
I mean, he's
LeBron on the
literally
'07 Cavs.
narrating his own movie.
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
it's all like he's narrating. It's so cool.
Yes.
It's so
We are
good.
clearing out for Glenn Powell from the moment the movie starts.
Yes. Yep.
And it's just 48 minutes of that's a basketball reference. It is 48 minutes of just Glenn Powell just clearing out a side and going to work. And he's either going to go score or he's going to kick it to someone and the ball's going to swing for a jump shot. Like that is what this movie
Literally.
is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? Does that how does that land for you?
I honestly, didn't know how I was going to feel at first when I saw like, him narrating it from like his point of view to the priest.
Mm-hmm.
But I really ended up liking it a lot. Like, cause you got his point of view from his point of view, if that makes sense. Like he's point of viewing his point of view. And
if you're
just
gonna
the way
have
it landed, I thought was great.
If you're gonna have somebody do the whole if you're going to have a narrator, if you're going to have someone monologue for an hour and a half in a film, then you have to make sure that they are good enough to do it. And yes. I definitely think he was good enough to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There are things in this movie that I really like. There are things in this movie that I'm kind of like, I don't know. They could have done much better on. This is not This is not like a 10 out of 10 movie by any means.
No, it's definitely not a perfect movie, but
the reason we're doing this is because, this is our launching pad. This is by far not the movie we love the most, but this is kind of how we wanted to start it because we went and saw this last weekend and we both enjoyed it. And for Glenn Powell, I definitely think what do you think the next step for him is? Like, where does he continue to go from here?
You're going to not. This is the classic answer. I think he goes to Marvel.
So you think that he ends up in one of these Marvel movies?
Yeah, he's good enough.
I'm curious on what he.
You got to think, man. They always try to go. I mean, not everybody from Marvel is like a big name, and that they come up big names like in, Marvel. But he has the physique, he has the acting skills, he has the right tone of voice. He can solo star in a film if he wants to. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna happen anytime soon, but I think there's a good chance he ends up going to the side of Marvel at some point.
He's incredibly charismatic.
Yes.
And the fact that he was able to take a movie like this and just shine, I really thought that he was good. Now, the writing doesn't do him some favors in some aspects, but I thought I am a pseudo Glenn Powell season ticket holder because this was the first time I got to see a movie of his in the theater. And I was like, yeah, I can hang out with this guy for 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And we literally did that. Maybe this was the perfect crash course to Glenn Powell because this movie is literally him describing his story to us for an hour and 45 minutes. I want to talk about A24. This studio has really come alive with making some incredible stuff over the last couple of years. They were the studio for Euphoria, which is something I did not know until today doing some research. But they are we mentioned the drama. That's a movie that is kind of popping off. That's coming in a few months. That we're gonna definitely go see. The Death of Robin Hood with Hugh Jackman is a movie that is going to be one that they are in on. They one here with the Invite, which has Seth Rogen and Ed Norton, which looks moderately interesting. That's another one that just dropped out, or that's going to be dropping soon. But those are future ones. Some of
Yeah.
the biggest movies they've made recently that popped off. Marty Supreme, which you went and saw Marty Supreme, correct?
Hmm.
Was it worth the
Oh my
hype?
god, it was phenomenal.
Okay, because I have not
I
seen it.
wish if you went once you see that one, that's one that I would love to do.
And yeah, that's
Oh
one we
my
got
god,
to
that movie
do.
was so good.
They made a yeah. I'm a Chalamet. I'm a Chalamet
Did you
stan.
ever see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I did not, but that's another one they made
Also, a
too, right?
movie they made
Uh, the
phenomenal.
the Smashing Machine, which was
Mm-hmm.
with The Rock, that like documentary type movie, which
Yep.
everyone adored. So they've done a bunch of stuff, but the thing that I like the most about them, Blake, is that they're a studio that has a bunch of different like original ideas, and they try to beat to their own drum in a sense. It's none of their stuff feels cookie cutter, right? They're not
No.
out here trying to send messages with all of these movies, because this movie specifically, How to Make a Killing, it's a good time at the theater. It's not gonna sit there and make you like think about how the world works or whatever.
Yeah.
But
It's one of those movies like if you want to go turn your brain off for an hour and a half and genuinely enjoy the time that you have at the theater, that's the type of movie you want to go see.
But there is definitely a style that they have. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I love their it's kind of like a grainy, grimy film style, like the picture. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I love how I their tones I adore. I think
I
it's great when you have these types of studios that aren't the biggest of wigs that
yeah.
can make this type of quality content.
I think there's the one thing that I think has really gone well for this is like you said, the variety that they put out and how many different varieties they have that have hit. Like you got to think like The Lighthouse, fully black and white, based off a book, kind of like a thriller, a little horror, but just the tone in that movie compared to the tone in this movie, like the variety and the difference that they can do. I mean, between horror, thrillers, romance, comedy, and they have an A to A plus in all of them. I just think they're killing the game right now. They're
The
absolutely killing it.
The Brutalist is another one they made.
Uncut Gems, like come on.
Yeah, they got some hitters. It's a fantastic. They do some really good stuff. Um, I want to run through the cast here. Unless there anything else you wanted to mention about the studio. Did you have
No,
any other
I just
notes?
think I really, it's honestly becoming one of my favorite studios. I've watched almost all of their films in the last 4 or 5 years. Like I think, yeah, I mean, I've only missed like a couple of them, but I just think the stuff that they're putting out right now is so good, and they don't really force anything. If they had one last year that that really, I honestly I didn't like that stunk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was kind of low on it. And then I saw this movie. I'm like, okay, that's why I watch the movies that they put out, and it made me feel
Yeah.
a lot better.
When trailers pop up and you see the A24 logo at the beginning,
I get
I sit
excited.
up. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yep,
we're in.
yep.
I'm here. Let's
Like the
go.
Death of the Robin Hood. When I saw A24, I'm like, what is this? And I see, I'm like, oh yeah, that movie's gonna kill. That movie's gonna be awesome.
That might not be my speed, but it's definitely it's going to be very interesting. It looks like a very toned down version of oh god, what was the movie? I'm dating myself. The fact that I don't remember the Highlander, was that what it's called? They Can Never Take Our Freedom. Wow, that shows how bad of a person I am that I don't remember the name of that movie. Mel Gibson. They can take our something, but they'll never take our freedom.
Kind of Braveheart.
Braveheart. Yeah. Gee,
Jesus Christ!
why'd I say the Highlander? God, I'm a dumbass. Movie podcast guy. Doug, cut
That's
that
what
out
I'm here
if you
for.
think
Don't
we
worry.
need
That's what
to.
I'm here for.
I know. So yeah, Braveheart, take our freedom, all that stuff. All right, let's talk about um the cast here. So I want to start with Margaret Qualley.
Quayle,
Qualley. Okay.
Quayle.
So she is 31 years old. I just want to point that out.
Doesn't look like it.
You think she looks younger?
Yes.
She does look very young. The thing that she was in that I would say that popped off the most. Now, The Substance came out in 2024. That seems like a movie that was very well received. Um, a show on Netflix called Made. She was in. I don't know if these are any things that you have seen. That was in 2021.
Mm.
A show or a movie that wasn't really didn't had nothing called Honey Don't. That was a movie in 2025.
Bad movie.
Um, sh- she was in Happy Gilmore 2. I'm assuming in a small role. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and
Yup.
if I'm not mistaken, she was the girl who tried to give
Yes.
uh
Brad
who
Pitt.
who tried
Yes.
to give Brad Pitt a blowjob in the
For a ride.
car,
Yep.
and Brad Pitt said, "How old are you?" He said, "I'm not going. I'm not going to jail over some thing." So yeah, that was her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That is a movie we have to do on the
Yes.
rewatch
Well, they have
version of
the
this.
sequel coming out here in a couple months, so
I know. That movie is insanity. So this was the first time. This was the first time that I was like a role that she did that I ever saw that I was just like, oh okay. Um, and then after doing the research, I noticed that she was in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But outside of that, this is the only other project I've seen that she was in. And I gotta admit, Blake, she's kind of really good at this.
she
I
killed
thought
it.
she was really
She was
good.
yeah, she did. She was very, very good.
I thought her role, and we're going to talk about her role and what she did. I thought they wrote her very well. There's some nitpicks that you can talk about, which we'll get to, but I definitely thought the way she acted and the way they wrote the majority of her stuff was superb.
Yes, I fully agree.
Jessica Henwick was Ruth, who was kind of the main love interest through
Hmm.
the movie, which was a bit of a swerve because when you watch the trailers, you see Margaret Qualley.
But you don't see.
You don't
Yep.
see you don't see Ruth here, Jessica Henwick, and then Jessica Henwick and Glenn Powell's characters end up becoming engaged, and I guess or they get married. She was in apparently she was in Iron Fist, was in the Royal Hotel. She was in one of the Knives Out show movies. But other than that, nothing really for her that was like really noteworthy. So I'm wondering if this because I thought she was okay. I thought she played her part very well. The kind of dainty, concerned. I wouldn't say petite. Petite's the wrong word, but love interest that I thought she did those things very well. She didn't have a lot to do, but she didn't feel out of place. Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree. I think I wouldn't say her role was limited because she did play the main love interest, but for what she was given, I thought she was good in the aspect of being the love interest per se.
Hmm.
Like how they met, I thought her acting was really good. And one, her facial expressions, I thought she killed. Like every time, like she needed to show certain emotions, she really dug into that, and I really enjoyed that.
So those are the three characters that take her those two and Glenn Powell are the three characters that take up the most of this film. Then you have some of the other names in here, which we mentioned: Topher Grace, Ed Harris, Bill Camp. Those are the three kind of I would say the biggest names. Unless you think Blake, I missed like some of these others. If you've noticed
Nah,
them from
those are
other
those are all
stuff,
ones.
um, that have been in kind of the biggest uh projects, I would say. But outside of that, they're all very, very limited in this movie. So it is a lot of Glenn Powell, different bits of Margaret Qualley and Jessica Henwick sprinkled in throughout the movie. And then all of these other people that are kind of just pitter pattered in. What are your thoughts? Do you like it when do you wish certain things were maybe more expanded on? Your overall thoughts on the cast in general?
I think the cast was thing. I don't want to really want to get into one of my flaws of the movie just yet. Um, but I think given the time that each character had, I thought they did relatively well. I mean, I don't think any of them were really bad at, per se acting. Obviously, they're doing it for a living, so they can't be that bad. But I think story wise and character wise, and even character development, I think each one got their own, time to shine because they kind of did a backstory on each family member. So they each had their own moments to kind of showcase their skills. And I thought they were all relatively good.
Hmm. No, I thought so too. Which there's some of these that I actually really really liked, which we'll talk about. Roger Ebert, Richard Roper did gave it 2 out of 4 stars. His synopsis goes as followed: "Quote: In a world where this is his main paragraph, in a world where we're bombarded with unnecessary and uninspired remakes of films such as Roadhouse, White Men Can't Jump, and War of the Worlds, I give mad respect to How to Make a Killing for its deep cut source material. John Patton Ford's, that was the director, by the way. Sorry, my apologies for not mentioning that before. His black comedy thriller reaches all the way back to 1949 British gem and film school staple Kind Hearts and Coronets, which was loosely based on a 1907 novel for inspiration, changing the setting from Edwardian era England to modern day New York. He was intrigued. He some of his thoughts are going to be kind of actually synced up with ours, or at least with mine in a few of these. IMDb has it as a 6.7 out of 10. Fandango has 75%. Rotten Tomatoes is at 45%. How do you react to those types of, no, do you ever like, obviously we're our own people and we have our own opinion, but do you ever give any thought into like Rotten Tomatoes scores or IMDb scores or something like that?
To be honest, I do. Honestly, it's not even really that I follow. So the reason I really wanted to do this, I've been following people on, like TikTok and Letterboxd for years that go and they review all movies. Most, not every, obviously they can't say every movie, but they review, 40 to 50 movies a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of gotten to that part where I kind of like trust their opinions on things. Like if I'm excited for a movie, right? And they go see like, oh man, I was excited for this movie, but it wasn't as good as we thought. I'm like, dang, now do I really want to go see this movie now and experience it?
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't like Rotten Tomato, like that doesn't mean anything to me because I think that stuff's so like swayed. Like you gotta think like Eternals wasn't that bad of a movie, but it's like 32% all because people from like overseas review bombed it because of because of the gay scene in it. It's like I think it's just very skewed. Rotten Tomato is in those websites, so I kind of don't really lean into them. I lean more into the people off of
Do you
the
know what?
TikToks and stuff that I follow.
Do you know what's funny? Do you want to know the movie? Do you remember the movie that we got swayed by the most for previewing reviews for you and me? We were like on the fence about going to see the movie, and then we were like, not great. And then we were like,
Oh my god. I know
you
exactly
know,
what you're talking about. I got to think about it.
you do.
I know. Oh my god. I can't think of it, but I know exactly. I remember. Yeah. What is it? What was it? It
It's
was
Jared. It's Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. Yeah, yeah.
Oh come on, Spider-Man villain.
Morbius. Jesus
It was.
Christ.
You bet your ass. It was
Yeah.
Morbius.
And I actually saw that, and that was so bad.
We were gonna go see Morbius, and you were like, "Bro, the reviews are bad." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, dude. I'm sorry."
Because I was just like, I was thinking about going to see what's that fucking girl spider movie that just came out?
Oh my god, Madam Web.
Yeah, I was like,
You were gonna go see that?
Listen, dude, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, so I was like,
I never thought once.
Madam Web is a really main character in the last Spider-Man comics. I'm like, it can't be that bad, right? And then people are like giving it half stars and 1 star. I'm like, okay, I really can't go see this.
Don't tell me you went and saw Craven. Did you go see Craven?
I did.
Oh no.
I like Craven. The movie was bad because they did things completely wrong. But Aaron Taylor Johnson was great, but the movie was bad. laughable bad.
You poor soul.
I was literally laughing during Morbius. That's how bad it was. Like I was genuinely out loud laughing from certain things. I'm like, oh my god.
It's just I'm glad that I didn't go see those with you. Let me just put it that way. And I enjoy going to the movies with you, buddy. We're going to be doing it a lot more together. All right, let's kind of go through this movie and the synopsis. So this movie kicks off right away. Glenn Powell's character, Beckett Redfellow, is in jail. Uh, and it turns out I don't know what you thought, but I was thinking, oh, so you watched the trailer and you kind of have an idea like of what the movie is, right? I thought he was out of the family because he was in jail and he was going to get out of jail and then he was going to go kill them all. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's what I thought we were leading up to. I did not expect the beginning of the movie to be I didn't expect the entire movie basically to be a flashback.
Yeah, no, me either. I like you said, from seeing the trailer, it really threw me off because like, okay, criminal got kicked out of family will, and then he's gonna go get his revenge. Nah, he was just never in there. Like he was just never in there.
In that shit. So the movie starts with him being in jail. There's a priest that comes telling the story. He tells the story. And you're in the beginning, you're led to believe, oh, he's in jail because he got caught killing all these people, which we'll talk about. It then shows his mother who got knocked up by, okay, his mom banged like a violinist who was very young. Like, I didn't realize they had young, like people like in those rich houses. I didn't think people who were in the band were that young. And not only did she get knocked up by a violinist, it was on a one-night stand and in the back seat of what looked like Ford Bronco-esque vehicle.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, hey, when in Rome, live like the Romans. She then finds out she's pregnant. Her family basically tells her to leave the family and be disowned by the family. The father passes out in the hospital when she gives birth and dies. So she raises him as a single mother. She goes on to tell him about the family inheritance and the fortune and all that stuff. The Redfellows, all that good shenanigans. He goes up. He meets as a youngster. He meets Julia, who he tells about how one day he's going to inherit all this money, and then his mother gets sick and passes away when he's probably 13 years old, maybe. He then bounces through foster care. We then cut to him as an adult working in a tuxedo a suit shop. Basically, Julia runs into him. Beckett finds out she's married. She makes a joke, "Hey, tell me when you kill all those people, blah blah blah." And then he actually starts to take them out one by one, which we'll discuss more and more. He eventually meets up with one of the, I believe, the Bill Camp who plays Warren Redfellow. I think that was his uncle, the one who gave him the job.
Yes, the uncle was the one who gave him his job. Yep.
So he starts working for his uncle as a finance bro. He moves up the ladder in his job. The Julia kind of acts sus. When he goes to kill one of his cousins, he does his thing to do that. While then in the process of doing so, he meets Ruth, who is his cousin's girl, but Ruth immediately has the hots for Beckett, and he basically kills homie and steals his girl at the same time, which is slick, which we'll talk about. He then goes on and on. Ruth and him get together. They start dating. They get engaged. And then eventually, as the movie continues, he continues to take guys out one by one, which, plot twist, his uncle, he wasn't going to kill, just happens to die because of a heart attack. And then there's a huge plot twist at the end with Julia and Glenn getting arrested for being framed killing her husband, who he finds, Julia says that her husband is a deadbeat, basically, and Julia basically frames Glenn not frames, she finds out and has a bunch of dirt on him that he killed all the family members, and she's basically blackmailing him.
And it's a
huge plot twist.
$300,000.
It's a
to
huge
not turn
plot
into
twist. And then Glenn goes to jail, and that's when you find out that, like, oh, he didn't get arrested for murdering the family. He got arrested for this, and then he was set to be executed. Turns out Julia basically put one more string
Oh,
of.
it's funny because the movie starts out with he goes, "I'm innocent. I'm not even here for what I'm gonna do," and then it goes straight to him killing his whole family, and you're like,
Yeah.
"What is he here for?" Then I'm confused, and then we finally get to it at the end.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, and we'll talk more about how that plot twist hit home. And then Julia basically strings him by the balls and like blackmails the shit out of him to get him out. And the movie kind of ends with the bad guy winning.
"Yeah, literally."
Like, full stop. The movie ends bad guy. Like, the 3 movies, there are 4 movies that I have watched in my life where the bad guy wins. Cloverfield, don't know if you saw that. The original Cloverfield, because basically everyone dies. The Dark Knight, technically the bad guy won, because Batman had to run away into obscurity. Avengers Infinity War, and How to Make a Killing. Those are 4 movies I've watched where the bad guy won.
I mean, did Glenn's character really lose though? Like, let's think about it.
Well, that depends, Blake. What are you trying to say? Are you
I'm
trying to inquire that he's going to be getting some good loving in his life?
probably yes, absolutely. I mean, throughout the whole movie, that girl is what's the word I'm looking for?
Smitten
Fiending for him.
for our boy. Yeah, she is yeah, my goodness. And yeah, those legs, man, they go a long way. Let's just put it that
Long
way.
way.
If you told me she was 6'4", I would believe it. Just saying. She also wore heels and incredibly dainty skirts in the entire movie. They did a great job with her character. That's all I'm saying. So let's go into categories here. We start off with the best scene, Blake. Give us some of your favorite scenes from the movie.
Easily when he meets Whitelaw Redfellow. I think when he meets him in the house, I just think honestly the aspect of that scene and the background in that scene, like the aesthetic, like pouring down rain. Never's met his grandfather before. Finally meets him for the first time.
You mean
And then they virtually get into this big like battle.
you mean Redfellow final boss?
Yes, literally. Yes. Like that scene was so beautiful, like genuinely, like the rain, like it made it seem like it was like a crazy scene, like something bad was going. Like it set it up perfectly, I thought.
So he's talking about near the end of the movie when his uncle dies. When his uncle Warren dies, he's sad, blah blah blah. He ends up finding out he gets a letter from his grandfather, his mother's dad, played by Ed Harris, Whitelaw Redfellow, and it says, "Hey, I'm throwing a big party. Come here." It turns out nobody goes to the party. Maybe because probably no one else was invited, and they have their version of. You've never seen Heat, correct?
No.
Okay, that's a movie that you're going to have to watch because the sequel's coming out eventually, and we're going to go watch that too. It was their version of Pacino and De Niro in the diner in Heat. It was their version, Blake, you'll get this reference, of Ledger and Bale, Batman and Joker, the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight.
Literally, yeah.
This was their version of it. It's those two at the dinner table by themselves, and then all of a sudden they go to another room, and Whitelaw tells him to go grab a rifle, and basically he's giving him an opportunity to kill him. He's giving Beckett an opportunity.
Give him to finish the family off and kill him.
Yeah, because Whitelaw has basically kind of figured out, like, bro, you ain't slick.
Yeah, he knows.
And Beckett doesn't do it. He tries to leave, and then all of a sudden it turns out the doors are all locked, and it eerily turns into a scene from like the movie The Most Dangerous Game, which is where famous movie basically where people are crashed on an island and the person who is living on this stranded island murders the entire group of people because man is the world's most dangerous game. And Redfellow basically tries to hunt Beckett and he tries to shoot him. And Beckett ends up self-defense killing him by shooting him with a bow and arrow, which is a good callback to the beginning of the movie.
Yep, because his mom taught him.
His mom taught him how to shoot bow and arrow. So that was a very good callback. So he dies. You're right. That was a great scene. And then he gets the inheritance. What's another one that you really liked?
Honestly, I think the heartfelt scene between Beckett and the uncle as he's dying, I thought that was it because it really changed the emotion of the movie. You know, this guy's never met any of his family. Finally, you know, obviously he kills all of them. Finally meets one, and you know, this guy's good. Like he's like, you know, I know what I have. You know, my son, you know, wasn't the greatest son in the world. You know, he was very, you know, selfish. All this, and I don't even remember if he knew that was his nephew or not. I'm trying to remember if he knew.
I think he knew once he got introduced. Once Beckett introduced himself to Warren, it was the first part of the movie that made you feel really sad because
exactly
all of the Redfellows that Glenn Powell is killing are let's be honest, they're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
They're all of them.
Yep.
And Warren is the one who said, "I'm sorry." Like in the after Beckett kills Warren's
he goes,
son,
"I'm sorry, I should have reached out." Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he said, "I should have reached out. I should have taken care of you. I should have." Yeah, like it was like the only scene that like was sort of like heartfelt, and I think that kind of changed the aspect of the movie and made it like if you didn't have any heartfelt scenes in there, I think I would have felt differently about the movie. But you had the one, and it kind of felt like it was needed because that's why I think he kind of held off on Whitelaw. Is like, okay, well, I didn't want to kill him. Like maybe. Like he was giving Whitelaw a chance. Like maybe you are just a good guy and you made a mistake, you know, like maybe something like that.
And he was probably, he probably was never going to kill Warren.
No,
he probably was never going to kill Warren.
No,
but Warren died because of natural causes. He died because he had a heart attack. But yeah, Warren gave him the job and he moved up the ladder there, married Ruth, all that good stuff, or got engaged to Ruth, all of that good stuff. One of my favorite scenes, I love the awkwardness of I love in the this kind of is also a merger of best of the best, but I love how the first murder he commits on his, I guess, or one of his cousins, Tyler Redfellow, played by Raph Law. He's a party boy. He's going crazy. He's passed out on the boat, and he like daintily, nervously puts the anchor on him to pull him off the boat,
regretting his decision
the whole time.
The whole time.
And I love the comparison of that to the second murder he commits on Noah, where he's just got like deceives this plan, like I'm gonna put these chemicals in the photo water.
It literally goes from accidentally dropping the anchor, killing your cousin, to I'm gonna blow you up.
Yeah, but like in totally different ways. It was like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna regret it and be terrified of it and immediately bolt. To the other one, bro, it's not even that. He's like this mad scientist in how he does it. And then when he does it, he allures the girlfriend away from there and is making out with her while his cousin's blowing up.
Yeah.
S tier. So that was great. The middle, so there's 7 altogether. We see 3, and then there's the 2 at the end. There's 2 in the middle that is basically like it turns into a mid-movie montage when he kills the woman and then he kills the guy with the who tried to go to space. Yeah. And that little montage was pretty funny.
That was awesome. I love that one.
The woman who like adopted a bunch of African kids
and then was mean to them.
Yes, it was mean as shit.
was mean.
Do you know what the phone means?
And she had like a black nanny for the black kids. I was just like, this is.
Yes.
I was like, oh god.
Like, what are we doing? And
Yeah.
he kills her with like whitening paste.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, just the worst human ever.
Evil Knievel 2.0 virtually is the other
Yes.
old man.
Blake. Evil Knievel, but in space.
Yes,
basically.
literally.
He's
you're paying $50 million to go to space, but you pay your workers bare minimum. Yes,
actually, no, that's worse. It was worse than that because they asked him that, and he was like, "Actually, it's 90 million." Like, bro, you're not helping yourself. That was so unintentionally hilarious. Where they're like, "Yeah, you're paying $50 million to go to space, but your workers make nothing." Actually, sir, it's almost
90
90 million. Like, hey, good job, bud. Great job.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic. And he's like dead asleep in the whatever he got given to him, and he crashes. That was epic. So the little murder montage I enjoyed. Before we get to the ending, was there any other scenes that you wanted to note?
The whole. That's not really a spoiler for one of the questions later, but the whole scene with Topher Grace's character, I was just like, I literally felt like I was on LSD.
Brother.
Like, I was just like,
yeah. Well,
I was like, guys, I was like, Venom, chill out. Venom, chill out. Stop it, Venom.
Yes, Venom,
please.
Eric Foreman, look what you've done. Yeah, we'll talk about that. You knew his acting inspired that category.
Yeah, I did.
All right, best of the best. Or no. Okay, so best scene. This is going to tie into the best of the best. The ending plot twist, it's really good.
It is. Yep.
It's so out of like you go throughout the movie kind of wondering, what is Julia doing? What's her angle here?
Like, what's her point? Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, I mean, I thought it was like, because it was his first crush, right? So like, I thought that was kind of good, bringing her back in that aspect of things. But after that, I was just like, okay, she was in the trailers. I know she's supposed to be here, but why is she here? She's married. She doesn't go on a date with him when he asks. All this, like, what's her angle? But I remember she told him when they were young to kill them all.
Mm-hmm.
And then she told him again. So I didn't really comprehend it at first, but then it kind of made sense on like what her angle was towards the end. I still didn't see it coming though. That's the thing. No. I thought she was done.
Yes, I didn't like what the blackmail portion. Okay, I get it. That was a nice little plot twist. For her to be, that was a nice little plot twist for her. Basically, hold on. Sorry, Doug. Cut this, please. 3, 2. So the plot twist, like, or the blackmail portion, when he has to give her the $300,000. He has to go to the deadbeat husband or whatever. I thought it was going to end there.
Me too.
But then he gets the inheritance. He's at the big party. Ruth is by his side. And then all of a sudden, there's an FBI tandem, a male and a woman, who are kind of on him the entire time. And they have a pretty good inkling that they say, like, yeah, whenever family inheritance is involved, these circumstances perk us up. So they're investigating him to a degree, which slows him down from wanting to kill people. And then eventually they kind of know he's doing it, but they don't have any way to prove it. So her blackmail basically is, hey, I've taken photos of you all the time. I'm going to turn you all this into the FBI if you don't give me this money. Which basically, he gives her the money at the inheritance party, blah, blah, blah. He's then arrested, and we're like, oh, for what? And it turns out he's arrested for murdering. They say the name. I don't know if you did this double take. I'm like, who the fuck is this person? I don't even remember the guy's name. But it turns out it was her husband who died. And they do a really good job, Blake, in that scene when he storms into his work. They do a really good job of making you realize it felt out of place when he writes the check and then slides it over to him. There's the letter opener.
Mhm.
But they made that was really good.
They,
Like,
they kind of emphasized that when he
yeah,
slid it over.
yeah, they did a really good job about that. And then when they do the cutback of how he was found, the murder weapon was the letter opener, and his fingerprints were on it. They did a really good job of that. Um, and the plot twist that you find out during the like little montage of the trial that he had a suicide note, and made it be. She basically made it seem that he was the one who killed him. That plot twist was spectacular.
Hmm.
It left us in shambles. It was like, did they accidentally just write like one of the greatest, shrewdest villains of all time? It was fantastic. Um, what do you got? What's the thing you got for best of the best? Do you want to kind of keep going in on this here?
Let's see, best of the best, like best scenes or
Just like, what are the best parts of the best scenes, but also like in depth. Like a thing here that I have, the dark side of Julia. We noted this during the film as she got darker and darker as she became more of a villain. It's little things, but her outfits started to get darker and darker. When you
yeah,
first
oh
see
yeah,
her,
yeah, that's a good one.
when you first see her as a child, she's wearing like bright blue
Bright,
colors.
yep, bright blue, yeah.
When you first see her when they're older and she's married, she's wearing like pink and
Oh,
yellow.
yep.
And then by the time the more and more she gets older, or the longer and longer it goes, the more
I would
she's a
say I
villain.
think that's one of the things that they really did great in this movie is they followed the tone throughout the movie. Like you said,
Yeah.
the callback with the mom, like that's a small little snippet. The outfits changing, the moods changing, the weather's changing. Everything was
Mhm.
changing throughout the movie. Like it was all bright and happy when he killed the first person. And then when he killed the second person, it was dark outside. He takes our girl. And then the montage between the two people. Fourth person, sad, didn't mean to kill it. Sixth person, grandfather, pouring rain, dark setting in a house. Like I just really love the mood that changed throughout the whole movie. And it was kind of like his mood too, though, through the whole time. Like that's how he was feeling too at this point. You
When
know?
he gets released from jail or prison or whatever, when he gets released, it's like overcast.
Yep. It's like like foggy outside,
Yeah.
overcast, not a lot of sun. Yeah. Like I think that they killed that in that aspect of changing the mood along with characters' moods. And I thought that was really great.
And Julia, her character, like Julia, when she gives her testimony at Beckett's trial, she's wearing a black sweater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when he gets out and she's with the butler standing at the Rolls Royce, she's in like this black lace looking dress with dark shades on and like a black like Kentucky Derby looking type hat on. What do they call those things? I can't remember what they call those things, but they're not actually called hats. They're called something else. But regardless, yeah, that was fantastic. Like that type of there's a word for it that I can't think of, but it's different ways to tell the story. Let's see here. We mentioned Glenn Powell's diversity. That was something that we liked. Oh, hold on. We have a moment. Okay. I can hold on for a second. So, another thing we talked about best of the best was we already kind of mentioned Glenn Powell's like diversity, his ability to do different types of movies, and like we mentioned, this was basically 48 minutes of him dominating the floor. We already kind of mentioned that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think that again, that was outside of, like I said, the mood changing, the outfit changing. I think even like kind of the diversity in this movie that he plays, being a narrator, a guy in prison for something he quote unquote didn't do, and then him being sad, and then him not wanting to kill, but then him wanting to kill. Like, I think even in this movie, his diversity showed, and I think he's been killing it, and I think he's at the top of his game, which is good to see.
I agree. I liked Ruth in this movie as well. I mean, it's the three main characters, but I thought she was a very nice little touch. I thought she played her part well. Any other best of the best?
No, I think that's all I got.
The biggest thing I had worst of the worst was I wish they would have gone a little deeper in certain characters. Like, give us a scene of Julia and her husband being a deadbeat, right? Give us more of a scene. Give us a scene, maybe. Give us another scene with like Ruth and Ruth and Beckett, or give us a scene of Beckett kind of figuring his life out.
Yeah.
To kind of see what what makes him like tick.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the movie was more story driven than like character development driven, and I think that's where the flaws in this movie.
Yeah,
if you want to go in depth.
I agree in the aspect of things. I think my biggest thing was I wish we got a little bit more. I mean, I think it could be self-explanatory, but there could be a multitude of reasons. But like when he got out of prison, what was the reason Ruth left him? Like they never showed. Like, was it because he gave up the inheritance? Like, what was her reaction to him giving up the inheritance? Was it just because, maybe she found out he killed like all of his family? Like, what was the main reason that she just gave him that locket and left? Like that, I think that really bothered me. I was like, why? Like, what? Like, I thought when he got out and she was there waiting for him, I thought they were going to end up together. I don't know why she left, and it still bothers me.
That's fair. I mean, I understand it. It almost serves better for the way the movie kind of went that it was so cold, where she just gives it to him and
just
like,
left, just leaves. Yeah, and then he's just like standing there with nobody, quote unquote.
I felt bad for Ruth. I really felt bad.
I did too. I felt bad for her. Like, she didn't know he killed her husband.
Did she leave her husband while?
Granted, she literally said she was going to divorce him anyways.
Yeah, so it's not as bad. Not as bad.
But then he, like, I don't even think he necessarily treated her badly. Obviously, he missed their engagement party to go meet his grandfather. But like, I think it aggravates me because like I don't know, like, what was it? What was the main point of her leaving? Like I wish we could have got like a backstory, like maybe like a flashback or her telling him, hey, like this is why. Like I think that would have helped me a little bit.
Yeah, because it feels like he never got the chance. Which will, I guess, I'll save.
Never got a chance to like apologize or like say anything. Like she just gave him a locket and then she left. That's it. That's literally all that happened.
There's a thing that I'm going to bring up now in nitpicks. Let's see here. There we go. So I don't disagree with that. That's a good call. You good to move on?
Yeah.
All right. We got some more So these are the categories portions. We already gone through a few of them. We're going to keep going. Some of these are incredibly goofy, but that's the point. So we're starting off with the Peter Dinklage is an Asgardian weapons maker award for, hey, I know that guy from another show or movie. Instantly for me, it was Topher Grace because I grew up watching That 70s Show.
Yep.
Anytime I see Topher Grace in something that like the other big actor, the other big actor here in this film is Ed Harris, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Topher Grace, I've seen in a bunch of stuff, but also it's like I've seen him more in, there's only a few things that I really, really know him for. So when I see him, I always hone back to That 70s Show. I literally
saw him and I go, oh, Venom. Cool.
Venom as well in Spider-Man 3. Yeah, shout out to Peter Dinklage. I hope you like the name of that one.
I do.
Did you have any other ones for this or just him?
That was the one that I had.
Okay.
Funny enough, I have him for the next category too.
Yes, we do. It is the Vincent Hanna, so Vincent Hanna is from the movie Heat. Blake, we have to watch Heat.
Okay,
You like heist?
It's already
you
on
like
my list. I will say that.
do you like heist movies?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, this is like one of the OG heist movies.
It's on my list. I can push it up to the top if I need to.
Okay. Uh, Vincent Hanna is played by Al Pacino, and Al Pacino has said he was a cop, and he basically said that in his mind there was a world where Vincent Hanna had a cocaine addiction, so he overacts in a bunch of scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So this award is called the Vincent Hanna Award for character to most likely have a massive drug addiction. There are two nominees.
It takes that with dude.
The first Red Fellow, obviously, because they kind of mention how he's a piece of shit and did coke and whatnot. But the one who absolutely no doubt takes the cake is the rendition of Topher Grace's character in this movie.
He had a spray tan, like a bling on his neck, like a fucking sword.
He's a Pastor Stephen J. Redfellow, and he is losing it. Like they say how he's under investigation, and he's like yeah, we visit the people over here and whatnot, and he's got some shady shit. So he definitely has a stash, and he pulls out the samurai, like the katana blade, and Beckett is posing as a New York Times editor for an interview, and all of a sudden Beckett thinks that Topher's character's got him got, and he just pulls the sword out and he's acting like he's going to kill him, and it's just so funny. It's way over the top. It's fantastic. It's so funny.
It is so. I think he I agree. I think he almost overdid it.
It was perfect overacting.
I was just like, this is so funny.
It was so great, and the fact that his character, he's the pastor. He's the he comes out with the little earpiece on the microphone, and he's talking about or he plays in the band, and just very, very funny stuff. His pastoral edits are like TED Talks, just great stuff. The next award, have you ever seen Teen Wolf? Because that is what this next award is after. It is the Coach Finstock Award for Best Life Advice, and Coach Finstock is the basketball coach in Teen Wolf, and Coach Finstock, he lives off of 3 life lessons. They are 3 simple, cynical rules to ensure a smooth life. Never get less than 12 hours of sleep. Never play cards with a guy never play cards with the guy who has the same first name as a city, and avoid women with dagger tattoos. So the Coach Finstock Award for Best Life Advice. Mine was, don't share your potential inheritance plans to everyone in your 5th grade. Just don't do that. I just think that would go well for you.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have anything written down because I was confused, but that was great. I really did like that. I mean, you can't. He literally told everybody what his plans was.
Everyone, I'm gonna, he's just nodding and swinging his feet, I'm gonna, all my family, when they're all dead, I'm gonna get all this money. I just wouldn't say that.
Hey, do you know you have an inheritance? No, no idea.
Just don't think that's a good idea. So yeah, Coach Finstock, great idea. Don't play cards with somebody named Dallas, Blake. That's basically what he's saying.
I will take this advice to heart.
Picking nits, which is basically nitpicks. What do you got?
To be honest, I really didn't have much. I had the Ruthie one that really bothered me. I think backstory on some characters, we could have gotten more from certain characters. I really wish we got a little bit more of the grandfather.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
I think his presence in the film, at the beginning, when he tells his daughter, you have to move out or abort the baby. You have 2 options. In the dark, you barely see his face.
He's getting one of those anonymous interviews.
Yeah, yes. And I'm just dude, that was cool. And like even when he gets to the house, I'm not saying like even like if it was just 5 more minutes of him, just even if it was just like him talking. I think his presence and his voice. I think that's what Ed Harris is. I think he's a great actor in that aspect of things. So
Yeah, like why couldn't we get a cut like in the montage, like in the murder montage in the middle of the movie? Why can't we get a little like 60-second clip of them cutting to the old man, the
Oh
old
crap!
man
This
red
is my
pillow?
5th family member. What's going on, or something like that? Like I
Yeah,
think that
he
would have
like
been. I would think that would have been really good.
you know, not even you still not getting his face, but like in the chair watching TV, like smoking a cigar
Yeah,
and just tapping
and
like his
that was
chair.
another thing that I had written down. I had not us not having a single flashback of a single family member being like concerned or anything. Like we're 4 in, and like it's just yeah, here's another one dead. Here's another one dead. Here's another one dead. Like we just didn't have anything like. No one showed like concern, I guess, per se,
No,
towards
I
the
agree.
family. And I was like, oh, that's a little weird. If 4 of my cousins died in a matter of 2 weeks,
Yeah,
I'd be a little
like
concerned.
whoopsie poopsie.
Yeah. Those were my big 3. Those are my big 3 there.
I've got a couple here too. Why did they annex Beckett's mom from the family? I maybe you can tell me this, but I feel like that just kind of happened and we never got an actual answer for it.
The only thing that we really got was because she got pregnant, but why did it matter? I guess we didn't get that answer. Like why did it?
This loaded ass family can't figure it out. Come on now.
Yeah.
Why was Julia so vague? Like, goddamn it, bitch, just tell him what you want.
Oh God, she's just biting her lip all the time, licking her lip, putting her legs up on her desk. Just tell him what you want. Just tell him, like she was like, you have this chance.
When
Call
he goes,
me, don't call me.
When he goes and meets her in his office, the second time they interact, before him and Ruth become like a thing, just sit on his desk, put your foot on his face, and say, "Baby, we're gonna take this shit to the top."
You've always wanted me. Just take me. Like she purposely played hard to get. I hated it when that's really just what she wanted.
I mean, listen, who are we to say because it worked out for her in the end? But the path was way more difficult than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I fully agree.
She just got very lucky that her man wanted to kill himself. And then my last one, I understand that if they, he kills himself with the letter opener, and here we go. So, do you think Julia actually killed? This is more of an unanswerable question. Do you think Julia killed him? Do you actually think he committed suicide? Because here's where I'm thinking. If his fingerprints are on the letter opener and he kills himself with the letter opener, how are homie's fingerprints still legible on the letter opener?
I think she killed him because one, I mean, obviously they did say like he was in like a shit ton of debt and he was bad with money, but he was also just got written a $300,000 check.
Yeah, but it was to her. He said though in the process, like, I'm leaving her. She's a crazy bitch. He was saying some crazy stuff, like he was out.
Yeah, I think that's why she did it. Like, even though she didn't really like, she wanted Beckett, but she knew that he wouldn't leave her, so she had to take care of it herself.
So basically, what I'm saying is my biggest nitpick is Beckett never gets a chance to defend himself. Like, I feel like this man is, even though he doesn't have the inheritance. Oh no, at this point he does have the inheritance. This dude should have been able to hire the O.J. Simpson legal super team, like the rich white dude equivalent of Johnny Cochran, to get him out of this. I understand if his fingerprints are on the letter opener and they have the footage of him racing into his office around the time of death. Well, look, it's a lot harder to defend that than if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. However, this dude just got a bajillion-dollar inheritance. Hire yourself some legal assassins and figure it out.
Yep.
But instead, he was like represented by a public defender, and he never got the chance to have his day in court.
Nope.
So that was just very that was very open ended. What do you think?
I agree. I think that part also bothered me. Like, dude's like a billion gazillionaire, but then had a basic ass lawyer to defend
Yes,
him in court.
dude, go hire the white Johnny Cochran.
Dude could have hired Michael Jordan, LeBron, and he hired Anthony Bennett and Kwame Brown. I was just like, come on, dude.
Oh man, and Hashim Thabit as his litigator, or as his
yeah.
as his like his main witness. Next category, good job there. Too long, too short, or just right, like movie length.
I thought it was just right. I mean, maybe like 5 extra minutes, a couple extra scenes, maybe 5-10 minutes more, but I don't think it could have been any shorter. I like the length a lot. If it was any shorter, I think you would have cut out too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think the length was perfect. Maybe add 5 more minutes, but I have no complaints with the movie length at all.
That's fair. I didn't either. Some people are very sticklers about like movie length. Are you?
Pending what it is. In my opinion, the Odyssey, like for example, the Odyssey needs to be 3 hours in 2 parts. They can't fit the whole book in one movie. It's literally impossible unless the movie's 8 hours long.
You think we're going to get two-parted?
It absolutely should be. Absolutely. There should be. If I honestly, I'm obviously very excited for this movie. I think it's going to be great. I will be slightly concerned if it's 3 hours and only one part. There's just so like
how
much
long
to go through.
How long? So you're saying you're expecting the Odyssey to be like the length of the Snyder Cut?
Yes, if not longer.
But
that's also my opinion for That's also my opinion for Doomsday. I think Doomsday should be like 5 hours long and have like an intermission halfway through.
An intermission, yeah,
dude. The comic book is so big, like they can't fit it all.
Well, that's why Secret Wars.
And Secret Wars should also be 2 parts.
Listen,
hot take.
If only. I can't wait.
Depending on what it is, I am very a stickler on any comic book movies. I'm a big stickler on. I really am.
Yeah, some of them have to be now. Yeah, some of those have to be longer.
Movies based off books, I am also stickler. Like I said, the Odyssey. I think it has to be either 2 parts or it has to be super, super long.
Yeah, I expect that runtime is going to be like 3.5 hours. Like Oppenheimer. You saw Oppenheimer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, like that movie was 3 hours long, but it made sense.
I still don't think it was long enough.
And that movie is that's one of my favorite movies.
And it's a great movie. Yes, it's a great movie.
Just because like it's literally 3 hours of dialogue, and that shit gets me going.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love movies like that. So yeah, I thought this was just right. Even you could again little longer for some extra character development. Yeah, other than that, it was great. Maybe you didn't have to do 3 scenes of him working in the suit shop.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do the extra scene where you find out. I mean, I guess him getting like pseudo fired is kind of what led him to be like, fuck it, I'll go start killing these people now. You could have figured something out. A penultimate award, the Fred VanVleet Award for Best Heat Check. For those who don't know basketball, Fred VanVleet played on the Toronto Raptors in 2019. And he had a child, and after his child was born, he basically didn't miss a shot for 2 rounds in the playoffs. So it was considered one of the greatest heat checks of all time. So basically, for the movie's sake, this is somebody who's in the movie for a small amount of time, but just comes in and is just launching jump shots and making it rain. I had Topher Grace. I had his character. Blake, did you have anybody else?
I had Whitelaw. I had Topher. I had Whitelaw / Topher Grace.
Okay. Whitelaw. You liked him probably more than I did, but you're right. He does have a presence to him, and it has to do with that beginning of the movie. He's literally in the dark.
I think the reason I put Whitelaw ahead is I think Topher Grace. I don't know what more they could have done with his character to add, but I think there's a bunch of potential to add more to Whitelaw. That's the only reason I have him ahead. I think Topher Grace probably was more. I think he was definitely more entertaining.
Yeah, Topher Grace came in because your best player got foul trouble at the end of the first half, but he hit 2 threes in like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, thank you. Ed Harris is more of like your normal six man.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's a good call. That's a good call. Last but not least, movie MVP.
Easy. Margaret Qualley.
Oh, okay. I did not think that's who you were gonna.
I think without her in that movie, you gotta think about if you didn't have that plot twist at the end. Imagine how much more boring that ending would have been. He just gets out, or like he doesn't get set up. Like he just goes to prison for a random murder, all this. But every scene that she's in, she makes it prominent and known. Hey, I'm going to blackmail you. Hey, I want your money. Everything you own is mine. I want you. Like, I just think the movie would not have been as good and the key parts would have been as good if it was not for her. Obviously, Glenn Powell is the easy answer, but I want to go a little bit off script. So that's why I chose her.
That's a very good one. It is more than just, she is more than just long legs.
Yes. Yes.
And her legs are long and they are lovely. However, she does kill it. I will give you that. She does really kill it. In her, I wouldn't say limited time because she's the second most on-screen actor, but outside of, it's hard to get. This is Glenn Powell and the Glenn Powellettes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
That's why I go Glenn Powell, because I do think he really kills it here. I think his character is charismatic. I think he really understands like what he's got to do. You are engaged when even though the entire movie basically is him doing a monologue, you're engaged listening to him break it down. You know?
Yes, every time, the whole time. And even when like cuts back to him in prison while he's still telling the story, or it cuts back to him and it's not him telling the story, but him defending himself. It's so cool.
So yes, Glenn Powell was my movie MVP, but the way you did it, the way you said it too, Blake, was a good one. Maybe the unsung MVP was the priest who listened to him confess like 7 murders. You know what's funny? There was a portion I had forgotten by this moment in the film that he already technically was on death row. You know when he pulls like the Bible out at the end?
Yeah.
I thought he was pulling out like a tape recorder.
Dude, I really did too.
You did? Because I was like, oh shit.
I was like, this is either a tape recorder or like a bottle of like Hennessy or something. And he just after this guy just admitted 7 murders to him, he's just gonna fucking take a shot for God.
You've seen the movie Airplane?
No.
Damn it. He does a thing. I picked a hell of a weight to quit drinking and just starts to drink. Damn it, maybe that's another one. If you've seen Airplane, that you would have got that reference and it would have been hilarious. Airplane is a very slapstick comedy movie from the 80s. I think you would adore it. It's very silly. But yeah, that imagine he just pulls out the flask. Oh shit.
I was like, okay, this is either tape recorder or he's about to drink after what he just heard.
He was the equivalent of that meme where it's like the Popeyes worker after they got the chicken sandwiches and she's outside just hella stressed. That was the priest. That was the priest after Glenn Powell monologue for 2 hours about, I killed all of my family members, so here I am.
But I'm innocent. I'm
innocent. I didn't do shit. I mean, technically, he didn't do it.
It wasn't wrong. The way for what he was in there for, he's innocent.
He was an innocent man. Well, a brisk 65-ish minutes, depending on what gets cut. What did you think? 75 minutes, I should say. What do you think? Did we do good?
I think we did good. I got to get my voice ready for Odyssey because that one's going to be a beefer.
It's going to be a beefy boy. So we're going to do this. Like I said, we're going to try to do this maybe weekly, more every other week. We're going to do these types of reviews after a movie that we see that comes out. But the next one we do is going to be a version of this, but with an older movie. So I don't know. We'll figure it out what we want to do.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm open for anything. You just gotta let me know because if I haven't seen it, I have to watch it. But
It's probably going to be a Marvel movie. But let's just be real. But
then
it
I've
could
seen
be.
it.
I could tell Blake to watch Heat, and we'll do
Yes,
Heat.
let's do Black Widow.
I
Kidding.
kind of like that, but no.
Okay, fine. Thor: Dark World. We can do that.
Oh my god! Now I'm jumping out of the window. All right, but Blake, you did good, buddy. I'm proud of you.
This was fun. I'm very happy we did this again. You know, this is like the beginning of my movie careers. I told my friends, and I was like, "They're like, you Blake, you playing games?" I was like, "No, I'm starting my movie review career tonight." So
Yes,
that's what I'll be doing. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm happy. I love talking film.
Yeah, we're really. I love talking film. You pretentious douchebag.
I have a goal set for this year for 37 movies that I'm gonna go see in theaters. I'm 1 for 1 so far, so I just got to keep that up. And yeah, anytime you want to hear, honestly, even if you guys have a suggestion, like if you guys got suggestions,
Yes,
I'll watch the movie. I'll watch the movie, and then we can talk about it. I got no problem doing that. So
by all means,
I'm open for anything, any genre, anything. I'm good for it.
We'll come on here and do Scent of a Woman or something like that.
You can do Pretty Woman.
Yeah, there we go. We'll be out here. We'll do The Blind Side.
There you go. Oh yeah, let's do it.
Sake. Shout out Sandra Bullock. So yeah, that there's we're gonna have some fun. I'm so excited about doing this project. This will be coming out probably, hopefully Friday. That we recorded this late Wednesday night. So hopefully this is edited up and put up on Friday. There will be more pomp and circumstance with our video here, where we'll have a little bit more edited stuff on here. But this is the first episode, so it's a little bare bones in comparison. But I thought we did great. Blake, I'm proud of us.
I agree. I think we did great. First one in the book. Many more to come. I'm excited.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 1 of Real Ignorance. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for our boy, Faceless Blake. I've been Joe the Show Winkel. Until next time, we will see you guys right back here on the Real Ignorance podcast. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our For Frequency's Sake podcast network, and you guys all have a good one. We'll see you. We are out. Peace.
See ya.